We never talk about the fundamental rules of this game we call life. We are born into a reality with a complex set of principles, yet we spend our lives trying to win without ever reading the manual. This is why so many of us feel lost, frustrated, and stuck in cycles of struggle. We are attempting to play a game of divine design with only man-made strategies, and the results are often chaotic. But what if the rules were not only simple, but universally available? What if there were 12 cosmic codes woven into the very fabric of creation that, if understood, would make you unstoppable? These are not man-made laws, subject to change and debate. These are divine principles, eternal and unbreakable. They are shaping your reality every single second, whether you are aware of them or not. To master them is to unlock the codes of creation itself and to step into the life your soul was always meant to live. You are not broken, you've just been misaligned. This is your reminder to remember what your soul already knows. The Law of Divine Oneness, the interconnected tapestry. The first and most foundational law is the Law of Divine Oneness. It is the simple, yet profound, truth that everything is connected. Every thought, emotion, and action you have does not exist in a vacuum. It ripples through the collective field, influencing everything and everyone. We have been conditioned to believe in separation, that we are separate from our neighbors, from nature, from the universe, and even from the divine. But this law reminds us that you are both the drop in the ocean. You are a unique expression of the universal consciousness, but you are not separate from it. When you harm another, you are harming a part of yourself. When you love another, you are loving yourself. This understanding shifts our perspective from competition to collaboration, from judgment to compassion. It is the realization that a rising tide lifts all boats, and that your personal liberation is intrinsically linked to the liberation of all. The Law of Vibration, your energetic signature. The universe is a symphony of energy, and the Law of Vibration states that everything within it is energy, vibrating at its own unique frequency. From the chair you sit on to the thoughts in your mind, every particle is in constant motion. This law reveals a crucial secret: you attract what you are, not what you want. If your dominant emotional state is one of fear, anger, or scarcity, you are broadcasting a low frequency that will magnetize more experiences that resonate with that vibration. Conversely, if you raise your frequency through states of gratitude, joy, and love, your entire reality will shift to match that higher resonance. This isn't about wishing and hoping, it's about becoming the frequency of what you desire. The Law of Correspondence, the inner mirror. The Law of Correspondence is a cosmic mirror. It states, as above, so below. As within, so without. This principle reveals that your outer world is a perfect reflection of your inner state. The chaos in your life, the difficult relationships, the financial struggles, they are all external manifestations of internal blockages, fears, and limiting beliefs. This law is not meant to shame you, but to empower you. It gives you the ultimate power to change your reality, because you are no longer a victim of external circumstances. When you realize that the patterns in your life will repeat until you break them from within, you understand that true transformation is an inside job. By doing the inner work, healing your wounds, and shifting your beliefs, your outer world is compelled to change in correspondence. The Law of Attraction, the cosmic magnet. Perhaps the most well-known, the Law of Attraction is the universe's ultimate magnet. It states that what you focus on expands. Your thoughts and feelings are not just fleeting events, they are powerful energies that are constantly magnetizing your future. The universe does not distinguish between good and bad thoughts, it simply responds to the energetic signature of your focus. This is why fear attracts more fear, anxiety attracts more reasons to be anxious, and gratitude attracts more miracles to be grateful for. The power of this law lies in its simplicity. To manifest your desires, you must not only think about what you want, but you must feel what it would be like to have it already. Your emotion is the fuel for your thoughts, creating a powerful magnet that pulls your desires into your reality. The Law of Inspired Action, the dance of manifestation. The Law of Inspired Action is the often forgotten companion to the Law of Attraction. Dreaming and feeling are not enough. Manifestation needs movement. The universe responds to aligned steps, not passive waiting. This law teaches us to distinguish between forcing and flowing. Forcing is when we are pushing against resistance, acting from a place of fear or scarcity. Flowing is when you take action from a place of divine inspiration, an intuitive nudge that feels effortless and exciting. This is the universe guiding you to your desires. The universe will open the doors for you, But you have to be willing to walk through them. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy, the alchemist within. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy is the ultimate law of hope and transformation. It states that energy is always in motion, always changing form. Low vibrations such as anger, sadness, or fear can be alchemized into higher ones through conscious choice. You are not a victim of your feelings, you are the transformer, the alchemist. This is the spiritual process of turning lead into gold. Through practices like forgiveness, gratitude, and compassion, you take the low-frequency energy of past trauma and pain and transmute it into the high-frequency energy of wisdom and power. This law teaches us that no experience is wasted and that every low point can be a powerful catalyst for a quantum leap in consciousness. The law of cause and effect, the universal feedback loop. The law of cause and effect is the cosmic principle of consequences. Every cause has its consequence, and nothing is random. This is the true meaning of karma, which is not a punishment or a reward from a judging God, but the scientific echo of your own vibration. If you sow seeds of generosity, you will reap a harvest of abundance. If you sow seeds of deceit, you will attract experiences of betrayal. This law gives you immense power and responsibility, as it reminds you that you are the master of your destiny. Every thought, word, and action is a cause that sets off a chain reaction in your life. The law of compensation, the divine accountant. The law of compensation states that you get what you give. The universe is a perfect accountant, and it always keeps receipts. This law is not just about money, it is about abundance in every form: love, joy, peace, and opportunity. When you give freely from a place of open-heartedness, the universe is compelled to return that energy to you in a multitude of ways. This law encourages a life of generosity, service, and unconditional giving, as you understand that the more you give, the more you receive. Abundance flows where your intention and action align, and a closed hand can neither give nor receive. The law of relativity, the power of perspective. The law of relativity reveals that everything in your life is relative. Your pain, your joy, your struggles, and your triumphs only exist in contrast to something else. A small problem can feel like a mountain if you've never experienced a bigger one. A great victory can feel insignificant if you've been conditioned to expect more. This law is a spiritual tool for gaining perspective. It teaches you not to judge your experiences as absolute good or bad. Instead, it invites you to see them as part of a larger story, a grand contrast that allows you to fully appreciate the light by having experienced the dark. The law of polarity, the wisdom of duality. The law of polarity states that everything has an opposite. Light and dark, love and fear, joy and sadness. In our human experience, we are often trained to see these as opposing forces, with one being good and the other bad. But this is a trap of the ego. This law teaches us that duality is a tool, not a trap. All of reality is a spectrum, and the opposite of what you want is already contained within it. The more you resist your shadow, the more power it holds over you. The path to wisdom is not about eliminating one side, but about integrating both. When you accept that love and fear are two sides of the same coin, you can transcend the duality and rise to a state of profound peace. The law of rhythm, the ebb and flow. The law of rhythm reminds us that life moves in cycles, seasons, and spirals. Nothing stays the same forever. There is a time for planting and a time for harvesting. A time for intense outward action and a time for quiet introspection. This law teaches us not to resist the tide. When you are in a low phase, don't fight it. Trust that the tide will turn. Stillness is just as sacred as motion. The spiritual practice of this law is surrendering to the natural rhythm of your life. Understanding that every wave, whether it brings you up or pulls you down, is a necessary part of your journey. The law of gender, the union of creation. The final universal law is the law of gender. It states that all creation requires a balance of masculine and feminine energy. This is not about biology but about energy. The masculine energy is about structure, logic, and action. The feminine energy is about flow, intuition, and creation. A life lived solely in masculine energy can be rigid and uninspired. A life lived solely in feminine energy can be chaotic and without direction. True creation, true power, and true harmony are found when you integrate and balance both. When you use your logic to create a plan, masculine, and your intuition to guide it, feminine, you become a master creator. These laws are not just abstract concepts. They are the keys to a life of divine alignment. They don't just govern the stars, they govern you. By understanding them, you can stop playing the game of life blindly and begin to play it with intention, wisdom, and profound purpose. This is your life, and the universe is waiting for you to co-create with it.